What's going on, folks? Ted from Immersion here, and this will probably be a quick video. I know it's me, so bear with me. But I wanted to show off the differences between the the expanded gift rulebook set, I guess standard edition, and collector's edition. My local game store finally got a copy of these white box ones in, and I just kind of wanted to show off the difference in case I know these white box ones are a little hard to come by. So I want to basically just show you, again, internally they're exactly the same. It's purely aesthetics, but as a lot of you have come to realize, myself included, now I haven't done an exact one-to-one read-through of Volo's guide and, Xanathar's guide and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything to see if everything is exactly the same between two books, as these new updated versions should include any new errata that was published or is going to be published. But from a quick glance, I didn't see anything noticeable like I had hoped to possibly see. We've seen an adjustment to the way things have been handled and the shift of things to X number of times per long rest, proficiency bonus times per long rest, as opposed to things per short rest. And we saw some changes to stuff when it was published in Tasha's. For example, the Blade Singer showing up in Tasha's Cauldron, they changed the way Blade Song worked, as opposed to twice a short rest to proficiency bonus times per long rest. But I didn't see that anywhere else in Xanathar's guide or Tasha's, so you're essentially just buying those two books again for a slight aesthetic thing, even in the standard edition, and to get Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse 4 months prior to its actual publication date separately. So if we go ahead and take a look at the box itself, you'll see that this art, I've also been informed, is sort of on the paper screen that comes with the Essentials kit. We've got these two kind of heroes here. It is foil. You can kind of see that there. And then we've got a white dragon, again, on this side, and it just has the ampersand on the back. We have this DM screen, which, once again, is foil. I've been informed that this is, like I said, what's on the Essentials kit. But it's just in a, rather than like a piece of cardstock, it's the thicker material here. We've got this DM screen. The inside leaves something to be desired. Okay, so first of all, now I'm not going to go in close. This is just the spellcasting section from the player's handbook. Jumping rules, suffocation, concentration, and what you can do on your turn. And we still have, yet again, one full panel and half of a second covering the freaking conditions in the game. This is better than I have seen, because I have seen where 2 full panels of a DM screen were taken up with just the conditions. I don't need the condition art. Condense it down and put this maybe on 1 panel at most. And then again, this stuff, I really don't think it's any different than what you'll get on the DM screen reincarnated. All right. So we do have our Tasha's Cauldron of Everything here. It's foil, as you can see, so it is still the standard edition cover of Tasha's that you can get anywhere, but it does have a foil treatment, which is unique to this version. Normally, it's just a matte cover. This does have the shiny foil on the front and the back. Similar to this is Xanathar's guide, same treatment, right? Shiny foil cover on the front and the back, as opposed to the standard just matte cover that you'd have. And then, once again, we have our Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse, also with that foil treatment as well. Also, can we just talk about, like, the difference between these books? Like, look at the thickness difference between Mordenkainen's on the top and Xanathar's guide. Or even, really, if you combine the two together, right? Mordenkainen's versus Xanathar's and Tasha's, they look to be about the same. So anyway, that's what you're going to get. So if you didn't pick up Tasha's Cauldron of Everything or Xanathar's guide, then this is definitely a choice for you. And I know that was kind of WotC's original intention, was to entice some people to rebuy them with the new book given to you early. But the process, or their thought process, was you could buy the base core set that came out a couple years ago and is still available now, the box set like this. That was the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and Dungeon Master's Guide. You could buy that set and this set, and between those 6 books, you'd have just about everything you need to run 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, contained in 2 nice, looks good on the shelf box sets. We do know that there is significantly other things contained in other areas. If you're looking for all of the options, you're going to need to pick up some of the Magic the Gathering setting books, as well as some of the other things like the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount and whatnot. You'll need to pick up other things to get the full gamut of all the options. The only downside is if you bought this, 90% of that stuff's reprinted in one of the books in here, so there's just a handful of things to pick and choose. So, you know, less than ideal. Then here is the limited edition art version that you can only get at local game stores. We can see we have this sort of, I think we've got Orcus. I can see Zuggtmoy here in the background. I believe that is the Xanathar, as he does have Silgar, his fish. And there's a handful of Grung right there. And on this side, we have Tasha, who seems to be a good guy in this instance, fighting alongside Zakirin, a super good celestial being, looks like a paladin. The one from, I believe, Xanathar's Guide, who's casting Find Greater Steed. This kind of, I think this is the Forge Domain cleric art. And it looks like maybe an Eladrin or something here in the background. Again, in this nice, this reminds me very much of Apple products, right? The whole black and white thing that we used to always have back in the day. All Apple products were white, and then they started doing black. That's just kind of the vibe it gets me. But either way, we can go ahead and take it out. And like I said, no difference on the inside. But you will receive some unique things, like this DM screen. I believe this art was created 100% for this. It is exactly the same on the inside, but it's pretty epic, right? We've got our bad guys over on this side. We can see we've got a Kobold here and an Elder Brain. We can also see over here some Spelljammers. Looks like Mind Flayer Nautiloids here. And then we've got our good guys over on this side. There's the Demonomicon of Igwilv. Looks like maybe some sort of Mighty Servant of Luco here in the background, right? Something like that. Either way, this is an epic piece. I would love this on a poster, honestly. This is pretty cool. So nice, but again, the interior still leaves a little bit to be desired. Our Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Again, beautiful workmanship on these books. But it is yet again that same picture of Tasha that we've seen so far. I also do love the animation of this. It is very kind of cartoonish, but I think in a good way. And then again, we can see our little logo here, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And the back says, "My mother once said, 'Natasha, my pumpkin, do you want to be a witch or a queen?' And I said, 'Both, mother.' And it's Tasha." So, I guess her name was Natasha at a point. Then we have let's remove this piece of paper. Just a random blank white sheet of paper in there. I guess that's to protect the foil between them. We have our Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Again, the same art of Xanathar from the DM screen. The back says, "I don't understand the attraction of gods. Why would anyone worship anything other than me?" And then we can take out our blank piece of paper. And on the front cover of our Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse, we have the Kirin that we saw. And it says, "The multiverse shines with countless wonders, yet I have seen so many of them that I am rarely awed. Not so with the Kirin. They fill me with awe every time." Mordenkainen. So, there we go. Again, a beautiful set of books. Very nice to see. You'll definitely kind of catch someone's eye if you bring this out somewhere, if you are able to play in person. Similarly to what we saw with the DM screen and like the collector's edition versions of the Monster Manual or the DMG, having these with you would be a nice catch somebody's eye and say, "Oh, look, they either have too much money to spend or we're able to get a limited edition copy of this." So I just wanted to do a quick showcase for folks to say, hey, if you're going to invest in trying to find one of these, do the aesthetics even appeal to you? There's a part of us that, as gamers and collectors, we want to have the limited edition versions of things because they're limited edition. And again, that's why I have one copy of each, so I can have them on the shelf. I can have, I guess, my everyday copy and then my bring it out at the shows and conventions and special places copy. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It is kind of a bummer that to get the newest content and the updated stats and rules, you need to rebuy 2 books that you don't really need or wait until May, which is a real kick in the pants. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next time.